Hey everybody, what's going on? We're here with a timeless reading. Welcome. All right, the first card that we have out is the Three of Swords. And the Eight of Cups. So Three of Swords seems like something that happened where there was pain involved. So it can be like, I did this thing and I got hurt in this way. Maybe it's something that you feel like at this point, because to walk away from this Eight of Cups, it feels like I've gotten hurt enough by this that I don't want to keep doing this. I don't want this to be a repeated thing. And so I'm not going to be doing that anymore. But know that this can also be about like your expectations of something. Like this can be a moment where you're recognizing that when your expectations aren't aligned maybe with realistically what you're seeing, that you get hurt, and so you're like, I'm not fulfilled and I keep getting hurt when I do this, and so I'm going to like allow myself to move on from this, or to like stop framing things in this way. So it's something like that where you're like, I'm like over the pain now at this point. It's like not worth it to me anymore. It's also like outweighing everything else too. And so now I'm going to continue with things because I don't want to be feeling this way anymore. And this feels like a situation or like a thing that was going on that you may have felt like was actively hurting you in some way, or like actively damaging or actively like painful, something like that. But you kept thinking maybe it was going to give you something that you wanted, or that it was going to like fill your cup in some way. And now you're getting to this point where you're like, nah, this can't be it for me. And so I'm seeing there be this consideration too of maybe I'm not going to stick around and keep doing this. Looks like there's going to be a closing out. Closing out. It can also be something that kept like hurting you or kept like disappointing you, something like that. A lot of shifting, a lot of changing that I'm seeing here. Okay. Failed to meet expectations. You could have felt like you were giving more than you were getting back. You know, this can be so many different things. It's just a situation that before you could have been like, I think I'm going to get what I need here. And you just kept feeling like you kept getting hurt. Because this feels like a repeated thing that was happening. And so you're like, you know what, I just need to be honest with myself here. Like, if this thing were right for me, I wouldn't keep getting hurt in this way. So there's something that's changing because of this. Ten of Swords feels like I didn't want to end it, but I feel like it's necessary to do this because I know that it's not aligned. So this would feel like this thing is not aligned with my values where I am currently. That doesn't mean that in the past you couldn't have felt like you got what you needed here, but you may feel like you don't anymore. That's the feeling. And I'm seeing you also be like, I don't want to be hurt anymore. Like, I don't want to do this thing that's just creating more pain for me. Because you could have also felt like it started mixing with things that it shouldn't have been mixing with. Something like that. Like almost you getting used to something where you were like, I don't want to get used to this sort of thing. Because it was something that you didn't see as being like connected with your highest good or like a healthy thing or something like that. But you could have felt yourself, you know, when you're in a situation and at first it's like, this is really not agreeing with me, and you can feel like the severity of it, but the more you get used to it, the more it starts feeling almost like it's okay or something. I'm seeing you may have it felt like something like that was going on and been like, I don't want that. I don't want to like trick myself into thinking that this is okay. Like it's not. Like it almost feels like you could have started feeling like you were getting numb to a situation or something. And you getting to this point where you were like, no, I need to separate from this. I'm seeing that it looks like there's going to be a cycle that's closed out because of this. However, it's very much worth it for you because you are moving towards something that feels like it's more reflective of reciprocity for you. And Nine of Pentacles means that you're going to enjoy what's on the other side of this. whatever it was that was going on where you kept feeling like you were getting hurt repeatedly, it looks like you learned so much from this that you're not even reactive to it anymore. So this could have been something that really taught you how to like manage things emotionally for yourself, but now you can be at a point where you're like, but why would I still stay doing that? It's something where you can be in a spot where you're like, I can take the pain, but like, why would I keep taking that if like I don't have to be here? Like that sort of thing. But I'm seeing like you really grew from this emotionally, where there was like a lot that you learned going through this. And so there was something really big that you learned that's connected with your emotions and how to manage them and how to not be reactive, and also how to like find the equanimity when you're in an actively painful situation. And also it feels like now that that part of you has been like developed out, it seems, meaning it's like really matured and developed, it seems to like there's this other part of you now that you're connecting with, that's this part of you that's like, I don't deserve to be treated like that, or I deserve better than to be constantly hurt, and I know that this thing is also impacting myself and my self-view and my self-esteem and things like that. And so this feels like you really developing this sense of self and even like a healthy sense of ego here too, where you're like, this is not my preference. But it feels like something very beautiful happened out of maybe a tragic or painful situation where you grew and developed this part of you that this is going to help you in all of your other situations too, because like feelings and emotions are like ever present in everything that we're involved with. So it really taught you how to transmute energy. So from an energetic standpoint, you've really mastered something emotionally through being in this situation. It feels like something repeated that you were involved in. And also you getting to this point where you were like, I know that I'm not being reactive. I know that this isn't going to be a thing that's working for me because I'm recognizing from a grounded space, this is not where I'm meant to be. I know that. I don't prefer this. And so there's something here where it feels like really coming into your own, and you're like, it's going to be painful, but I'm going to close this out because I don't need to experience this anymore. This is very, very powerful here. I think this also comes from a place of you like knowing yourself and knowing that you're grounded in this decision that you're making and really showing up for yourself, really trusting yourself. I'm seeing buka shells here. Okay, this is the third reading that I'm doing today, and in every single reading so far, the first major arcana out in every single one of the like YouTube readings that I've done today, the major arcana that comes out first is Strength, which is connected with Leo. This feels very, very, very significant, like for everybody collectively. It may not be easy for you to transition out of this situation. I'm seeing that it's going to take a leap of faith, but it looks very much like you're willing to at this point, because you're like, anything's going to be better than this at this point. And I think too, you're getting to a place where you're like, being real with myself now, looking into this, like, why do I want to put myself through this repeatedly? And I'm also seeing too, you be in a place where like you're feeling grounded and you're thinking like very logically. And so you're not like, I'm all over the place and I'm just making this decision now. This feels like something that's very well thought out. Like I'm seeing your energy be very, very centered here. And I'm also seeing too, you showing up for yourself in a way that maybe you weren't doing before. And it looks too like there's something very big that you're approaching where you're like, I have the final say in this and like what's going to be going on here. And it may not be the easiest thing for you to do, but this is like a new part of yourself that you're sort of stepping into. And you feel like you need to do this, like it's necessary for you to do this in order for you to find yourself in a situation that feels more reciprocal to you, and you're willing now to take that leap of faith. Because you feel like instead of the pain with Three of Swords, you want to experience the Nine of Pentacles, which is like the pleasure, experiencing enjoyment, happiness, stability, abundance, that sort of thing, where you're like, this is what I've been actually working towards this whole time. So instead of being like having to go through this wounding repeatedly, which like you already did, but instead of having to do that continuously or further, I'm seeing you be at a point where you're like, I want to be happy, like I want to smile about things, like I want to feel that sense of security that I'm not feeling, that I haven't been feeling in this other situation. But it does seem like in order for you to end this and say like, final call, this thing is over now, we're going to close the curtain on it so I can start this next chapter, I'm definitely seeing it be like a leap of faith for you to do. And it's all about like how much you're trusting yourself, because I'm seeing you definitely be guided in this direction. But there may have been, this may be like a challenge for you, but it's helping you like further develop your self-trust, because even though you're going to face like maybe this final moment of pain of being like, I'm saying this is the end of it, you're going to be so much better off for it. And this is really going to give you the opportunity to experience the type of, for some of you, even like partnership that you're looking for. Because I'm seeing the Lovers. So there may be a chance that you're taking that has to do with a connection. I'm seeing something about like a reaching out. There may be somebody that you're reaching out to, or somebody that's reaching out to you. Something like that. Yeah, it looks like you're taking a chance with someone. You would feel like there's reciprocity between you and this person. This feels too like the pain is over. There's been this recognition of like, that's not where we're gonna find what we want. And so letting that cycle conclude. And in the conclusion of that, what's born is something that feels reciprocal, where there's just like pleasure and enjoyment of that. And I'm seeing these two energies here that are like working things out with one another, amongst one another. And I'm also seeing too that there's like a chance that's being taken, and it seems like a chance that's being taken on the relationship. But having it be the Fool here, this would be unfamiliar territory, but it's worth it. So you would be happy to move to unfamiliar territory, because I'm seeing what you're familiar with is not something that you want to continue to repeat. Even though it did teach you a lot, because I'm seeing you look at it from a space of like, that really did benefit me in this way, to be able to choose to develop this part of like my energy. So I'm seeing you did like a lot of like yogic work through this experience that you had. And also it seems like you got to a point where you're like, but I don't need to continue doing it like that. Like this part of me has been like mastered, this part of me has been developed. So like you did what you needed to do through that, you accomplished what you needed to accomplish. And it was through like very difficult situations that manifested. Like it's like learning through pain. Painful experiences. And now over here, there's this sense of like, now things can move together. Now things can be joined. And you also go from Three of Swords, where there is that focus on like pain, and ending over here with the Lovers, it's like now there's this focus on love. Now there's this focus on things being joined together. something very mystical about the timing of things. It feels like there's a reminder of something from an energetic standpoint. Even more that's going to be realized. It's all about balance. Because I'm seeing there be like this heavy order right now to things. Tend to things from a balanced standpoint. Something may feel like it's getting to the point of being like almost too much. Balance things out so you're not getting overwhelmed. This means just like taking care of all the stuff that you have going on. If you keep it balanced, you're not going to feel like things are getting out of hand or out of control. Pain-wise, it looks like something did get to a point where it felt like it was too much. And you were like, I don't need this type of stress in my life. And you decided to come up through here and be like, I'm gonna invest in myself. But some of you, I don't know if you made the decision yet to end this. That may be something that's still on your mind, something that hasn't happened yet. But you know that if you end this, it's gonna like open the door to opportunity for you. In a way that you may feel you just don't have in this other situation. This is gonna open up like personal opportunity for you. Part of the reason why you may feel hesitant to close out this other cycle is because there's like some type of commitment or contract that's involved. But this feels like you're choosing to like commit to yourself. Potentially. And I think too, you're at this point where you're feeling very turned off by like all of the stress that's been involved in whatever this is that you had been like running within, and getting to this point where you're like, I don't know if that's something that I really feel like continuing to do. Because I think too, you're looking for a bit of like liberation and freedom as well. And there may be something here where you're like, I want to commit to myself and what I need. That's what looks like is happening here. Choosing to trust yourself and empower yourself. What I am seeing for sure is that part of the reason you may feel hesitant to end this cycle is because you'd be taking a chance by doing that, but I'm seeing that's what's being encouraged. And also you get to do whatever you want, so I'm just relaying the message. Okay, I'm looking at Gemini. I'm hearing Cancer. I'm looking at Gemini, Leo, and also Taurus was in here, and I'm also seeing Pisces at the bottom of the deck. Okay, my friends, we're going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.